No rest for the wicked boys and girls of Blackburn Rovers. Try to pick up the feet and go again on Easter Monday as they take on high flyers Bournemouth. Can we get the win? Probably not, but we'll talk about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Still looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' next match up against Bournemouth on Easter Monday, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, and smash your subscribe to keep banging up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, staying in the division related. We've got it all here, boys and girls. Under one rooski. That's right, boys and girls, of course. I'm actually recording this I've got to get my explainers in just in case some breaking news happens between now and kick-off. I am recording this on the evening of course, the loss against Wycombe. I've got to get in there nice and early, get these bad boys rolling. So, of course, as of recording, Mowbray is the manager, unless something else happens. But you just don't know. We're going to take the punt and get the videos out there, of course. Yes, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the patrons as well as the channel behind the scenes. You know who you are. Your VIB special band of men and women. Thanks for supporting the channel behind the scenes. But anyway, let's talk about it. It is, of course, this Bobby Dazzler. It is Rovers up against Bournemouth. Will we be playing them again next season? Of course, they could go up. We could go down. You just don't know. But of course, it will take place at Ewood Park. We'll elaborate on that in a minute. Of course, let's take a look at the recent developments between these two sides. Of course, Rovers played 39 times this season. Bournemouth just 38. They're averaging around about 2 goals a game, and they're scoring quite a few goals for fun quite recently. So we're playing up against them where they're playing probably their best football of the season. We've gone down now to just 1 goal a game on average. 13 shots though for Rovers on average compared to their 12. Picking up around about 2 yellow cards to their 1. They're more fruitful with corners as well, 6/5. Of course, possession based, we are actually pretty neck and neck. Neck and neck in possession, neck and neck on pass success rate. But guess what? They are much better off in the old table, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit. Of course, error success rate is to Rovers' advantage. But you know why that is because we hardly ever play any high balls. And to be fair, when we do recently, I think it's been pretty Danny Dyer, pretty woeful. Let's take a look at, of course, our home form compared to their away form. Of course, we played 19, they played 18. And again, on average, around about a goal a game when we played at Ewood Park, and of course an average on a goal a game for Bournemouth on the road as well. 13 shots again between the two sides of goal, very even kind of Stevens until you get to the neck of the woods here of error success rate once again in favours of Rovers. Possession also favours Rovers compared to them, 58 to their 55, and also pass success rate still goes with Bournemouth this time. But guess what? It doesn't really matter. These stats all flatter to deceive as of course Rovers may top the charts or of course reach the top end of a lot of them, and we're trying to play a specific style and all this kind of stuff. But it doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be working. How long do we have to play this kind of possession-based football without the lack of belief? And without the crucial finishing touches and pulling the ball back of the net. I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to have to last on. Let's take a look at some other stats here. Of course, goals. This season, Rovers scored 50 compared to Bournemouth 58. We've scored 35 through open play, 38 for them. 5 set pieces as well compared to their 10. 6 counter-attacks, 4 penalties for Rovers, 3 for them, and 1 OG. Again, a blank against Wycombe, and there's also just the 1 goal against of course Norwich as well. Heading into this, 13.5 shots a game per Rovers for Rovers, 12.4 for Bournemouth, and 1.3 goals a game compared to the 1.5. Again, that's both home and away, and as is the entire season. As for home versus, I think this is goals conceded, is it? Or maybe this is actually goals scored at home and their goals scored away. We're not looking at the conceded. I think the producers like, no, we'll just roll with it. Of course, Rovers scored 25 this season. Of course, at Ewood Park, 22 for them. 16 goals through open play at Ewood Park. They've also scored 15 as well. 6 set pieces on the road for them. 4 for us at Ewood Park. 3 counter-attacks, 2 penalties, and for them just the 1. How about attacking avenues and stuff like that? Of course, Rovers with possession 41% of the time within the middle third, 28% going forward, and 30% tracking back or in the defensive third. As for Bournemouth, 31% kept in their own third, 27% is in their opposition third, and 41% in the middle. Kind of similar stats to Rovers. We prefer the flanks, of course, 38% of all of our possession coming down the left and the right hand side, 25% down the middle. As for Bournemouth, they seem to prefer the left hand side, 39% of all their attacking avenues coming down the left, with 35% down the right, 27% down the middle. As for the shots, for 59% of all Rovers shots coming in the 18-yard box, just 5% in the 6-yard box, and of course 36 long range bad balls. As for Bournemouth. They prefer the 18-yard box as well. 53% of all their shots are there. 40% long-range bad boys, and just 7 within the 6-yard area. How about shot direction? Of course, 19 of all of our shots coming down the left-hand side, 15% coming down the right, 65% down your throat. As for Bournemouth, 69% of all their shots coming down our throat, or their throat, 11% down the right, and 20% down the left. How about, of course, stats and figures that will get us all excited? Of course, Rovers goals coming from Adam Armstrong, 20 of them so far, 6 goals for Gallagher, 5 for Brereton, and just 5 for Elliott. Of course, as for discipline, Johnson's got himself 7 yellows, as does Darrell Lennon. Douglas and Rothwell have 5. Of course, Darrell Lennon, the one and only guy with the red card so far for Rovers. As for Bournemouth, goals coming from Solanke with 11, Stanislas and Arnold Grunfeld with, of course, 10 apiece, and Surridge has got 5 as well. As for the most yellows, Lerma's got 10, Billing 6, Cook 6, and Diego Rico also with 6. And, of course, 3 men so far with a red card to the name: Wilshere, Cook, and Lerma as well. Of course, heading into this, these two sides have played each other 7 times since 2004. Bournemouth picking up 4 wins. We've picked up 2 and there's been 1 draw. Our biggest win over Bournemouth was a 3-1 win. Their biggest win over us was a 3-2 win. We scored 16 goals in total in those 7 matches. They've scored 17, and they've also got 2.43 goals per match compared to our 2.29. We're without a win in 5 for Rovers, and of course Bournemouth's away record this season is 1-5, lost 5, and drawn 8. Just 1 year ago, Blackburn Rovers were at number 8 in the table with 56 points. They are now 15th as of recording with 46 points. How about that stat for you? But the game will take place right here in the Garden of Eden, of course, boys and girls, as Rovers try to turn the screw or trying to get back on track with a win against Bournemouth, who are, of course, competing for playoffs as they've changed their manager, of course, this season. Tisdale out now, Woodgate in, of course, and Rovers hope to do the unthinkable once again, as they prefer to play better against the bigger boys than they do against the strugglers. But it will be at Ewood Park, and again, no fans in the stands for the time being, and again, it looks closer. Of course, we'll start the new season with fans in the stands, so fingers crossed. How about starting lineups then for you? Here we go. Of course, we're going to start with the host, that is Blackburn Rovers. Again, there's not much changes you could do to this, and again, this is just what I think. Kaminsky between sticks. I'm going with Bell. I'm sick of the tired back, sick to the back teeth of course, Douglas at left back, Howard Bellis, Lennon, and Nyambe. Of course, Rankin Costello picked up an injury. Doesn't look like he will play either. Rothwell, Johnson, and Buckley make up the 3-man midfield for me. Rothwell stays. Johnson comes in. Buckley also comes in, dropping the 2 Germans. Of course, Brereton on the left, Elliott on the right, Gallagher down up the throat there. Leave Tyree Stolen on the bench. I don't know what other attacking options you could leave on the bench, to be fair. I'd even explore the under-23s at this point to try and maybe bring some attacking options from the youth to give us a bit of bite up front. Of course, as for the opposition, very, very a classy looking team here. Got Bogovic between sticks, internationally recognised goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper, of course, Diego Rico. Cook, Carls Vickers, and of course Smith make up a comfortable back four. Lerma and Wilshere make up, of course, your defensive midfield with Billing, Grunfeld, and Stanislas leading the charge with Solanke up top for Bournemouth. As for the records heading into this is the fixture list. Heading out of this, well, we'll take a look at it anyway. Of course, Rovers will take on Cardiff on Saturday the 10th of April. Then it is Derby at home at Ewood Park. Then Sheffield Wednesday. Then it's Huddersfield. And then it is Rotherham. As you can see, all scrappy-dappy-do matches, really, from of course, Saturday the 17th of April. As for Bournemouth, they'll take on Coventry next Saturday. Huddersfield as well, not too long away either. Of course, then it's Norwich on the road, Millwall as well. And then, of course, they'll take on Brentford. Some really big games. If they win those games against Norwich and, of course, Brentford, guess what? They could be right back in the thick of things for not only all the playoffs, but, of course, automatics. As for the results heading into this, of course, Rovers is not that pretty, of course, without a win in at least 5. A couple of draws in there, 3 draws, and, of course, a couple of defeats as well. Not good. It's not good. And then we're not scoring goals as well. Look at that. We score a couple of, 3 goals in the past 5 games. In fact, no, scrap that. We've only scored 2 goals in the past 5 games. It's absolutely criminal. What's gone wrong? What's gone wrong? Even with Dak not in the squad, Armstrong, I'm sure there was supposed to be enough firepower in this team to get the goals, but the confidence is not there. If you have a look at the start of the season, you look at this, where we're at right now, the confidence is not there. On the flip side, look at Bournemouth. I know they did lose to Southampton, but they banged 3 goals against Middlesbrough, banged 3 goals against Swansea, banged a couple of goals against a free score in Barnsley, and of course we're a little bit unfortunate against Preston in the end, but they're scoring goals for fun. Was it 3, 6, 8, 9 goals in the past 4 games in the league? As for the journey so far for Rovers, as you can see, not good for us at all. We did start the season off great, and we did kind of pick ourselves up again in the month of January before it all went wrong. It all went really wrong, and it could even still go worse down here. As for Bournemouth, start off the season in okay form in the top 2 for a good chunk of the season before it all quarter went south, and of course Tisdale was out on his ear. Then it's kind of been restored a little bit. Of course, as of right here, right now, I believe they're in the top 6, so I think that's all good for Bournemouth at the moment. Of course, let's look at our home form compared to their away form. Of course, Rovers just 1 defeat the past 4. That's one positive, but they're draws, mate. They're absolutely draws. 3 points out of a possible, 18 out of this? Is not great. It's not good form, but you can spin it whatever which way you like. Just 1 defeat out of the past 4. But drawing the Coventry is not good enough. And drawing the Bristol City, who are, I think, pretty dire at the moment, is not good enough. As for Bournemouth, they come to this just 1 defeat the past 5. That was against QPR, and it was at their place as well, at QPR's place. So, of course, that was on the road. Of course, they were all on the road. So, yeah, it's a good away form. In fact, let's take a look at the form tables in just a second. The previous record, though, between these two sides, this is just the home matches. The last 3 at Ewood Park, just 1 win for Rovers, 2 wins for Bournemouth, of course. That one was last around in 2014 with the likes of course, Jordan Rhodes, Grant Hanley, and Rudiger Stead on the score sheet. Giving us the win. Brad Pittman, of course, Stevie Cook on the score sheet for, of course, Bournemouth. A couple of, 3-3 draws back in 2004. Why didn't that count? I guess that went on penalties. How about overall then? The last 6, both home and away, Rovers picking up a couple of wins. Bournemouth picking up 3. In fact, last time around, we did lose. We did lose back-to-back against them. So, yeah, we haven't beaten them since 2014. But they were Premier League side back here, and they did beat us earlier in the season. I think we owe them one. We do owe them one. But I don't know when we're going to get that one. So, anyway, not great recent form against Bournemouth. Here you can take a look at, of course, the table in the grand scheme of things. They are sitting in 6th as of right now. Rovers non-movers at 15th, of course, and we've lost 17 this season. And joke, it's an absolute joke. I don't know. I can't get excited about this no more. It's starting to really infuriate me. I can't. There's no rhyme or reason or optimism left in the tank here. I've given Mowbray the benefit of the doubt, given the extra lives that he needs to kind of save the season. But guess what? It's gone wrong. Something needs to be jolted. You know, you're losing Dak. You lost Dak last season and you've lost him again. Miserable times. I don't know where it's going to go. This is the form table as of right here, right now. The last 6. Again, the couple of games that's still to be played this week are not really affected into this or reflected. Of course, Rovers are 16th, which is better than I thought. Both home and away, picking up 6 points of a possible 18. As for Bournemouth, they sit in 3rd. Of course, looking very, very good as well. Just 1 defeat past 6. As for the home form for Rovers, we currently sit in 22nd. Like I said, 3 points at the possible last 4 games is not great. We're sitting down in 22nd. As for Bournemouth, they are in 7th. But guess what? We're not fussed about that because we're playing at home, not them. As for the away form, though, Bournemouth actually are in 15th. Just 1 win in the past 6 games on the road. So that's something we can maybe use to our advantage as well. Of course, you just heard a little bit what I've had to say. Usually I'd say go and check out the brfcs.com forum out. You can still do that if you like to get another opposition fan or a Rovers fan point about this. But otherwise, let's take a look at what Digicast thinks about this match and any hopes for Blackburn Rovers. Of course, now you've seen what the Digicast has got for us. What about, of course, the rest of the Championship? Well, let's take a little look at it then, shall we? Of course, these are your statistics that, of course, will flatter to deceive. Rovers are in 3rd place possession-based team, but we're shit. Same can be said of Huddersfield playing a possession kind of football, but guess what? They're not getting anything out of it. As for Bournemouth, they sit in 4th and they are grinding out the results, as are Brentford as well. As for the most aggressive, Sheffield Wednesday lead the charge there with 59 yellows compared to and 7 reds, with Stoke not far behind with 67 yellows compared and 3 reds as well. As for the most aerial duels, Rovers sitting 4th with that 53.5% success rate with the aerial duels. Cardiff lead the charge on that. Of course, shots per game, Norwich lead the charge on that 15.7 games goals shots per game. Rovers 13.5, and of course Bournemouth are up there with 12.3, which is a worrying statistic because of course they're playing well, and I think they will they'll pepper us a little bit at Ewood Park. As for the pass accuracy, Norwich lead the charge charge there. 82.5% pass accuracy. Huddersfield, Reading and Brentford make up the top 5 alongside Watford. As for the upcoming matches, of course, Middlesbrough will take on, of course, Watford at the early kickoff on Monday. And then, of course, a whole fixture list of Reading against Derby, Coventry against Bristol City, Stoke against Millwall, Luton Town against Barnsley, of course, Nottingham Forest against QPR, Swansea against Preston, Rotherham against Wickham. And then we have Sheffield Wednesday taking on Cardiff for a later game there. Tuesday night, we have Brentford up against Birmingham. And, of course, Norwich will take on Huddersfield as well on Tuesday night. Yeah, the table looks like this. And guess what? A couple of wins here, there and everywhere for the likes of Derby, Nottingham Forest, of course, Preston and Huddersfield. And we all start to have to look over our shoulders again. We might have enough gap to give us the safety net that will, of course, keep us in this division. But again, we're only a couple of defeats away from starting to really panic. But who's going to lead the charge for that? Will it be Rovers? I mean, will it be Mowbray or will it be somebody else? We'll just have to wait and see about that. To be fair, I don't think anything's going to change between now and then. I'll give Mowbray the benefit of the doubt and I'll give him the opportunity to save his managerial career. To be fair, I think if there's no change, they'll ride it out. And if he gets a couple of wins and he finishes the season on strongly, you know what? It's just going to strengthen his case that he deserves to be at the helm next year. Whereas the fan base, if you look around, have a look on Twitter, Facebook, of course, the forums as well, you'll realise that it's clearly not in his favour. And he's starting to ruin what was a rosy relationship with the Rovers fans. Of course, when the fans come back in the stands, if he's still here at the helm, of course, at the start of the new season, and things don't get off to a fantastic start, they'll let them know that they're actually sick and tired of it. But anyway, it could be an interesting few weeks for Rovers fans as we find out what is in store for our gaffer. But until then, thanks again for watching. Of course, we'll be covering the match with a watch along on the channel, so make sure you come by. Win, lose or draw, we're there always. But until then, see you soon. Smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe, and see you all for another one another time later on.